What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. We are in San Jose, Costa Rica, 3:30 p.m. here. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. Big show today. Drew Martin joining us in 26 minutes. 15 minutes after that, DJ Big Boss. Where will he be coming from? I have no idea. What a magical, mysterious man our DJ Big Boss is. And eating in NCAA football. A lot of you guys are doing great work in NCAA football. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Paulo Marquez first in the chat. Great hustle. Says, hello, Big Jim. How are you, big man? How's your health and bets? Mediocre. Both. Silver Malco says, Jimmy, Red Wings with little value against my Canucks, our Canucks, and enough value for me to fade our Canucks with no fear. Our Canucks are so small. So easy to play against. I have no fear fading them with the big bad Detroit Red Wings on the big plus line. Freestyle Fakiri in the house. Eric Nisbet, Laniel Land. Laniel Land says Kings Flyers over plus 100. Overs are hitting at a very, very high rate right now. No doubt about it. Headshot says, yo, Jimmy, you like Vegas game under or Jets game over or either of them? I'm uncomfortable with a lot of them. I'm uncomfortable with both of them, to be honest with you. And I don't mean to, sit here and... I'm uncomfortable with both of them. I'm uncomfortable with unders unless we have a very strong angle. I think that we should lean towards overs most of the time, especially early in the year. And we've gone over power play numbers. Everybody, except for a couple teams that are hitting at between 25 and 40% power plays. So I think we sort of trend to the over. Eric Nisbet says, I switched up and ended up taking Astros versus Yanks over at 7.5. I am on the Astros and on the -1 line. And I broke my 5-game losing streak in the playoffs yesterday, and I would like to end the season strong. AM says, Jimmy, rough day on the titty sauce play of the day. 2-1 going to the 90th, or 2-1 going to the 90th, then 3 90-minute goals, 1 and 2 coming out. All I can say is 90-minute giveth, and the 90-minute taketh away. You're right, AM. Born in 94, nostalgia. We've missed you. Born in 94, nostalgia joining us. Alex Ramirez, Ron Crawford. NHL spreadsheet plays Toronto, Carolina, and Winnipeg. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. I will copy and paste that right now. Ron Crawford, previous winner of the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping. Austin Kowalski, Flyers over, Leafs on the -1.5, and the Knights over. Going to copy and paste that. We're going to actually go over each and every NHL game real quickly here, very quickly before we're joined by Drew Martin. And with Drew Martin, we're going to start in MLB and then move over to college football. Teron Russell says, I see value with Toronto on the puck line. I kind of like the Wild here at this number, but I don't want to get in the way of Toronto. We're going to talk about that. Good as gold in the house. Jay Blues had jumped on a live bet over 6.5 for Astros Yankees. I hope you got that. Timmy Wynn in the house. His Vegas Knights whale play slammed it. Says, thank me later, -31. Vegas Knights, our guy Timmy Wynn in the house. Jay Yim says, hi, Jimmy, did you finish the Polish vodka last night? Yes, I did, too early. Finished it too early. But no hangover, man. The Polish, they know what they're doing with their vodka. Sarah Bellew in the house says, game advisory, Houston win. Finally, St. Louis wins. And Minnesota beats Toronto. Oh, Sarah, I love those looks. I get why you like Minnesota to step up here. I think you're getting the right number. I just don't know if I have the balls to make it happen. There's Buffalo on the beat. Buffalo on the beat. Man, he wrote the king of props, Buffalo on the beat, a.k.a. Bill Buttlicker, crushed the prop market again last night. What a guy he is. Jimmy Gomez, Keith Sadler, Rye Cape in the house. Paco Healy, Dina Lombardo, ready to go. Oh, Dina Lombardo, you're so sweet. Third time watching today. Definitely happy about it. Learning a ton from you and the guys in the chat. Much love to you, Dina, and thank you for joining us. RMK, Rich G, A. Hilly, Brad DeFlamenis in the house. Yes, Rafa, that is the plan. Drew Martin will be joining us in 21 minutes, and then 15 minutes after that, DJ Big Boss in the house. Okay, let's get to work right now. There's Ski Profit. There's Big Ragoots. Usually when a team in the playoffs wins one on the road, advantage to them back at home. Not today for Yanks. Seems like a must-win for the Yankees. This is big for me. Sure, I only have $125 on the game for the Astros, but I have $350 on them to win the AL. That's at even money. That was right before the playoffs started. And then I have $175 at plus 200 to win the World Series. If they can get up 2-1 here, I like my chances very, 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 very much. All right, let's get to work right now. Christopher Comatini says Cole is rolling. A lot of people were looking at this game saying, look at the value you have on the Yankees. And all I could think of was look at the value you have on the best pitcher in the league right now. Today, October 15th, the best pitcher in the whole world is on the mound for the Astros. You know, I can get him on a -1 line. That, what was it, almost plus money? What did I get him? I got -147 and plus 120 on Garrett Cole, the best pitcher in the league. I love it. Okay. Thank you, TJ Parks. There's MT13, Christopher Comatini, Ronnie Christie, Keith Sadler on the Lightning Habs over. Okay, let's go over it. So we're going to say baseball for Drew Martin. So let's just do a quick little 20-minute on these NHL games. Let's start with the Wild, Leafs, and let's make a quick look also to make sure that there's been no goaltending changes that we weren't aware of. Why don't we do that first, okay? So we're going to make sure that we know exactly who's in net, and so we have all the information in front of us, and that is imperative when we're making moves here. And let's take a look at it right now. We're going to see if there's any goalies that we were not expecting to be playing. And here we go. Starting goalies pop up now. And let's get to work. We're going to be starting with, come on, give me that. I don't know why it's taking so long. Here we go. So we have Dubnyk, Anderson. That is what I expected. We have Vasilevsky, Price. That was expected, and I'm on the Lightning there. We have Kemper, Hellebuck. Sorry, I'm trying to see, which was expected. Then Brian Elliott, David Riddick. That's one of the reasons that moved me towards Riddick was that I do not know what Brian Elliott is going to give us. You know, he's losing. He's not the starting goalie there anymore. Carter Hart has taken that from him. So we have to see. Jonathan Bernier for the Red Wings against Thatcher Demko. That makes me a little uncomfortable. I would much rather have had... let's see exactly what that's going to change for my Red Wings spot. And wow, yeah, would have got a better line had I waited. I did not expect them to throw Bernier. I was thinking we were going to get Howard, and there's 40s on the bill right now. Silver Marco says, what plays are you on tonight? I will let you know right now. Flick my Bic in the house. Christopher Carter ready to get to work. Okay. Wow, so that's a little disappointing to see Bernier. But you know what? I backed Bernier when he went to Montreal, and that was a big, what did we get on that? Like plus 180, I believe, plus 180 when we backed the Red Wings in Montreal. So, we're doing it again. This is also a fade of Thatcher Demko. I think Markstrom is a top 10 goaltender in the National Hockey League. He's what we think is probably a death in the family or something of that sort. So he's gone back to Sweden. Now Thatcher Demko in control. And there's Remos Laval, Quebec's home, Bernier. That's right, Rem, my guy. Then we have Pekka Rinne, Marc-Andre Fleury, which we expected. Mrazek versus Jack Campbell. So that is what our Parlay Poppy was thinking, that Campbell would get the start here. So everything's fine except Bernier. And again, and I know it sounds so simple, but it just seems like time and time again so far in this early start of the NHL season, the favorites get bigger as the day goes on and the dogs become bigger dogs. So if you hammer the favorites earlier and wait on the dogs, you'll probably be doing better. Okay, let's start with the Leafs. Wild. Wow, plus 210s on the board for the Wild. I find that extremely appealing. And we have 6.5s. The Wild are not going to get in a shootout with these guys. Oh, I find that. I said if it was all 6.5s, why wouldn't I jump on this? And I mean that. So right now, you guys, I'm on the Lightning -1. I'm on the Flames -1, and I'm on the Red Wings money line. And I just do not see the Wild playing any different than they played last game. And I find that under very appealing. RMK says on Canucks puck line, I'd like to try to have futures with him, but this start has been smoke and mirrors, all scoring coming from one line. What about the fourth line? 2 goals last game. Says Myers and Edler will be on the ice for some every shift. I don't trust Myers. Byron Zuniga says Lightning Canadians. I'm on the Lightning -1. I love that Lightning lost to Ottawa 4-2 while the Habs beat the Stanley Cup champions Blues 6-3. I love that spot. And we saw what happened when the Lightning are angry. The Carolina Hurricanes outshoot them like 44-13. They come up to Toronto, a better team than the Habs, and destroy them. Beat them 7-3. Toronto Russell says back-to-back for the Wild. I mean, basically, if you take the under, it's correlated to the Wild winning. Or, excuse me, yeah, I'm sorry. Take it, I mean, but I love that you guys are on the Wild, and I respect it very, very much. But I find this under 6.5 very appealing. Why is my book not hanging in? They must be. I mean, you can pay for the half. My book's at 6 at 105. Under 6.5 is at minus 110 at Heritage. I mean, how's that not the look? Against the Minnesota Wild, we're just not going to get these 6.5s. And I'm telling you, and I said this yesterday, it was after I won, obviously, with the Senators and Wild under, that we're going to be sitting back here going, man, you remember that time early in the year when we were getting 6.5s for the Minnesota Wild? All right, I have to do it. I have to do it. I'm taking the under 6.5 with the Wild. Look, they just got their first win. They know exactly why they did it, and Gabby said it. But after the game, he said, I think those are the kind of games we're going to have to win. 6-5, probably not in our repertoire. 2-1, 3-1. If we can do that a lot, you'll be a successful team. My first addition to this late card, under 6.5. And I'm getting minus 110. That's available at Heritage, Bovada. Pinnacle's at 111. 5 Dimes is at 112. Under 6.5. And again, the only way I lose this is if the Leafs light up Dubnyk. And Dubnyk's been bad so far this year. And I had to stand up for him against Parlay Poppy. Parlay Poppy on the early show saying Stalock should take over the number one duty, the number one spot in the crease for the Wild. And I was like, no, man, it's Duber. It's Duber. Under 6.5, minus 110. Taking it. Lanil Land says, Dana Lane saying Minnesota is in disarray. Look, I don't know if Dana Lane knows more than I know in what's going on with Minnesota. But I do not see a Gabby Boudreau team ever being in disarray because he's a spectacular coach like Barry Trotz. How many Trotsy teams you see in disarray? This guy gets the most out of his team. And they're dealing with injuries right now. Dumbuck getting back into form. I think he's a great, spectacular defenseman. This is an old team, this Minnesota Wild team. I like the under 6.5, and I'm on it. There's Ulysses Hayes in the house. Look at Anthony Mastronardi. Man, I just wish you had got that Lions money line full game. But what a great day for you, Anthony Mastronardi. Eating. Yenny Toon says, I really like Coyotes versus Jets under in that game. I'm a little uncomfortable with it. I just don't trust the Jets team at home to be an under team moving forward. And Gate Pasquis also on the Leafs. Wild under. Okay. And Jeff Murillo says all over Lightning. I love it. All right. So there's my first edition. Toronto says Toronto hasn't played since Saturday. Back-to-back for the Wild. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant back-to-back wins. Sorry, you meant back-to-back games for the Wild. Yeah, that doesn't concern me. Early in the season, and that game wasn't at night. It was at 11. It was at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So it's the shortest flight you could imagine to Toronto. They get into their hotel room early and they sleep. So that doesn't concern me. And regularly, you hear me talk about the back-to-backs early in the season are very difficult. I do not see this being one of them. Yes, Yellow Jesus. The baby soft my hands on the power play. All right. Cole starting to come unraveled. What? What? Excuse. Oh, come on. We're fine. We're just fine. Stay calm, everybody. Stay calm. Yellow Jesus says my power play of the day is Red Wings money line. I hope you get that late. Kanoska says Bet365 getting Leafs under 6.5 and minus 130. Maybe in a parlay with Calgary money line. I'm gonna wait. Well, I'm not gonna make the bet here. I'm gonna see if I can get better than minus 130. I'm going to see if I can get better than minus 130. It doesn't make sense that they would stick that at minus 130 when all the other books are hanging at minus 110, minus 111, unless they don't want you to bet it. AM says, would they even fly from Ottawa to TO? Yes, they would definitely fly. 100% they would fly. And Flick My Big says, what are your thoughts on the refs in the NFL? Jimmy Ugly last night. Yeah, it's awful. It's just like it sucks, man. It just feels like we're in a judging situation like in boxing and let's just leave it at boxing. Why do I add figure skating into it? What the hell do I know about figure skating? DJ Big Boss says, I like my Vegas Knights minus 1 line. I hear that. Yeah, it was awful. Awful. Doesn't help the sport. Okay, I'm on the under 6.5 and minus 110. And my prediction is that Bet365 moves to 6.5. And we get that at minus 125 at the worst by the time I make this bet. And I'm going to be making this bet in about an hour from now. So that's my prediction. We shall see. Yellow Jesus say, Jimmy, are the Kings going to be an overtime team all year? No. I do not know what's happening there, and I do not expect that to continue at all. At all. But, God, I mean, it's nuts what's happened so far with these Kings. All right, I'm on the Lightning -1. I got the money line at -125. Let's see what would happen right now if I got the money line. LeMahieu is dangerous, but Cole can get him. If I wanted the Lightning on the money line, it's a -126. So I'll beat that move by 1 cent. We already talked about why we like it. And there's Jermone saying, yep, Revs had and NFL headlines +3.5. Yeah, it was just it was awful. It makes the sport. It takes so much joy out of being a fan of the sport when we have these guys who were NFL referees part time. Maybe that's part of the problem. Why don't we give them full-time jobs? It's ridiculous. Anthony Mastinardi says, my brother told me Canadians win tonight. You said that when I was on Detroit. And you said your brother was on the Montreal Canadiens. I cashed a +180. I think, Anthony Mastinardi, your brother is a big Habs fan. And it's true that I hate the Habs. So let's see who wins this one. Anthony Mastinardi. But I'm on the Lightning -1. Antoine Seymour says, how do you feel about the Kings team total over 2.5? Do you like that game over? Look, everything's pointing towards overs in that game. But I just don't believe what I'm seeing. And I think the sample size is too small. So I'm not going to, and the Kings know if they get in a shootout with the Canes, they're going to lose. So I don't expect them to keep playing that way. I really, really, really don't. Austin Kowalski says, I had a blank screen. Yes, the show is live, my friend. The show is live. The show is live. Okay, so let's keep rolling along right now. Lightning -1. Next spot, Coyotes, Jets. And let's see, sorry, we did go over the starting goalies, and so I'm guessing that Ranta is getting his first opportunity to go back-to-back, and he's not. Kemper is. Okay, Kemper and Hellebuck. Kemper looking over his shoulder, and Anthony Mastinardi says, I hate the Canadians too, don't worry. Okay, I like that. And Campbell's in net for the Kings, yeah. No, I just don't believe what I'm seeing with the Kings scoring goals. Now, if you want to take overs nonstop, you're going to cash. Right now, they're hitting at a very high rate. Is that going to continue? We shall see. We shall see. And this Coyotes-Jets spot, again, the Jets are allowing a ton of goals, but Coyotes are just not going to play the overs. And so what happens when the Coyotes lose Halmerson? You lose an offensive defenseman. Does that take goals away? It does in two different ways. One, the person who's going to be filling in for Halmerson is going to play more conservative. The top four without Halmerson are going to play 27, 26 minutes a game, and that also leads to conservatism. They're not going to be pushing the puck out. They're not going to be going in, jumping up on the rush. They're going to be hanging back. So no, I'm not going to be taking overs with the Coyotes involved. We have a Coyotes team with a 91% penalty killing rate. The Jets are only scoring 14.3% on the power play. So that negates that. Then you have the Coyotes. So then you have the Jets' weakness is their penalty killing, 69.2%. The Coyotes don't have a power play goal all year and now don't have Halmerson. So yeah, I guess I do lean to the under in the Coyotes-Jets game. Why don't I take one more look at it right now? Coyotes-Jets lean to the over. Look at Ragu hoping that Cole falls apart. Yankees fan at heart right there. Let's go. Right now, the under 6. I'm not going to take unders with Winnipeg, but I certainly understand why somebody would. Yellow Jesus giving us a score of 4-1. But Nino says, Jimmy, you think Coyotes can win? Absolutely, I think the Coyotes can win. But if I'm going to take the Coyotes on the road, I need there to be the proper risk and reward. And when I see the Coyotes right here at +14 or +107, a bookmaker, that's not the reward I'm looking for. If I'm going to take the Coyotes on the road, Coyotes have not won. They've only played 2 games on the road this year, but haven't won either of them. You need to be rewarded for that. And Headshot says, I don't know why my ESPN says Rant is coming back. Yeah, it's hard to trust any of these things. Intex, my guy Intex. Breeders' Cup coming up, my man. Breeders' Cup coming soon. And says Coyotes under 6. Coyotes 6-0 last 6 road games. Wow. But that's dating back to last season, obviously. RMK saying Halmerson is a huge loss. One of the best defensive D-men in the game. And he's good offensively with those breakout passes. I like him a lot. Okay, so, and Daryl Lyle's liking the Cards tonight. We're going to talk to Drew Martin about that in 7 minutes. So let's keep looking at it. So I'm on the Flames -1. I got the money line at -139. If I jumped on the Flames right now, I could get a -138 at 5 dimes. So I really sit here thinking that so we talk about situational spots, and this is another one for me that jumps out at me. I think that Pete, when the coach calls out the team and then they play with more emotion but still lose, come back home after a short 2-game road trip, that the Flames are in a nice spot. And I'm taking them on the -1 line. Again, that's just because if we do get onto a 3-3 situation or a shootout, I feel like I have an advantage with Johnny Hockey and the Calgary Flames. So I'm on the Flames on the -1. Jad Castana says, Jimmy, you like Vegas game under? I'm not taking any unders with these two hockey teams right now. So if I had a free play, so again, I like that you guys are taking the under now at 6.5. That's good because remember, this total opened at 6 and it was at 6 for 12 hours. It was at 6 for 12 hours. So I like that you guys are taking it at 6.5. But no, I do not feel comfortable with that at all. Ulysses Hayes loving Philadelphia money line going heads up against my guy, Ulysses Hayes. And I really like the Flames -1. I really, really do. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Jermone says, low-key, Stroh's and Cole doing the 18-game win streak, bro. Don't fade that. Yeah, I hear you. And I'm on them -1. There's Dom Ricci now. Says, just checking in quick. I'm out watching the game, having dinner. I'm also, what a guy, Dom Ricci, popping into the show while he's out having dinner. What a guy. Our Dom Ricci says, both unders, first 5, under 4, and under 7.5 for the Yanks game. As we said, light it up. I'm also on the Nat series. Nats over 7.5 full game. And Dom Ricci already up 12 units in MLB playoffs. My guy, your guy, our guy. Dom Ricci in the house. RMK says, I see too much volatility on this card tonight. I will be on a lot of puck lines. And puck lines are the way to do it. And this is the 3rd year that you guys are watching me cap an entire season of NHL. And I will hit 42% of my bets and be up 28, 30 units at worst. We can do better than that. But that's the worst I'm going to do. And what a world. You know, you can hit 42% and be up 28 to 30 units. I mean, that's what we're talking about right now, man. All right, let's keep rolling along. Flames -1. I really like this situation. Short 2-game road trip. They play with more enthusiasm against this Shark squad, whom is totally undervalued right now after opening with four losses. And then they come back and they have this Flyers team that doesn't have Nolan Patrick in the lineup. So no Nolan Patrick. They fly over to Prague. They come back for 1 game, then fly to Vancouver, then over to Calgary. It's going to catch up to them. It's going to catch up to them. Yellow Jesus says, Canes versus Vegas Stanley Cup. Canes win barbecue hot dogs for everybody. Oh, there's my guy, Paco Healy. Beautiful edges, Jimmy. I think so. And I think that's how we get success in NHL. And my guy, Paco Healy, whom I love dearly. Okay, and Intex saying Coyotes 5-1 on the under is an underdog. The Coyotes are an under team. Jeff Murillo says, why not hit 54% at plus money, dog? Hey, I'd love to. It says aim higher. Look, I'm going to try. And we had a nice start to the year so far. Rafa, you pop up this NHL record. I mean, imagine it at 50%. At 50%. And this is going to get higher because my average line, I think my average line will probably be around the plus 140 spot. But I can just imagine a 13.89% ROI is glorious. All right, Red Wings. This is a fade of Thatcher Demko. Now, yes, I thought Jimmy Howard was going to be in goal, but we backed Bernier in Montreal, and he stepped up. I hope he'll step up here. I really think Austin saying, "Who are you on tonight?" I missed that. Okay, I added the under 6.5. I added the under 6.5 in the Minnesota-Toronto game, so that's the only addition that I've still got to bet that I made here. I'm also on the over 7.5 in baseball. We're going to talk with Drew about that shortly. And then I'm on these spots with Lightning -1, Flames -1. I like those both a lot. And now, if you think you're going to know, you also cap the capper. And Pete Loshak, the legend, Pistol Pete Loshak used to talk all about that. You'll see when I'm on a -1.5. And we're going to have all those stats set up for us so we can see what we're succeeding with. But you will see that. And Big Roo says, Jimmy, I'm predicting at least 50 units plus. I'm trying to use everything, especially a lot of the teachings that Jin Rummy's trying to infuse in us. I'm trying to be sharper and tighter and better. I know I can be better, so it's means. And also, I feel like it was another year of MLB letting you guys down, and I really, really want to add cash to your pockets. So, it means a lot to hear that from a class act legend like the Big Ragu. And Tio Martinez, I'm on that over 7.5. So we're going to talk about that with Drew Martin here in a second. And Yellow Jesus says, please come to AC for spring break, please. Yellow Jesus, I got you for life. So we're going to, Atlantic City, don't expect me to be in Costa Rica for the next 50 years. I'm going to be back in the States. We're going to be doing up heavy in Atlantic City. And when I like to go to Atlantic City? In February when it's cheap. That's when I want my room for free. That's what I want. Robbie Tagaloa in the house. The Samoan Thunder on Wild Team total under 2.5. Good luck. Well, I'm on the full game under, so we shall see. Lance Rose on the Detroit Vancouver over. So let's keep going. I'm on the Red Wings here. This is a fade of Thatcher Demko. I know he's cool as ice, totally relaxed, doesn't seem nervous. I don't know if he's that good. I don't know how good he is. And the Thatcher Demko Zane McIntyre combination is going to let in a lot of goals. So then we have Predators Golden Knights. And Hurricanes, Kings. With the Kings, let's go with the Predators game first. Predators are allowing a ton of goals. They're scoring 4.6 a game. They're allowing 4.2. Their power play is good, and that was why they added Matt Duchene. Remember, last year they had the worst power play in the league. That's why I took all my futures on the Predators, because I knew exactly what they were missing, and it was a guy whom I don't like in Matt Duchene, but he's the perfect answer for their power play problems. And then we have the Golden Knights, whom I'm not backing. I will not back them without Schmidt. Schmidt's a Norris Trophy type of defenseman, and I will not back them. Kenneth Heath says, what's your best NHL pick today? So I got asked this, and it took me a while. I already got asked this. It took me a while. And I would say my best NHL pick today is the Tampa Bay Lightning on the -1 line. So it'd be on the -1 line because I want that plus spot. But yes, it would be the Tampa Bay Lightning stepping up. And Alex Ramirez says, when you coming to South Laredo, that's going to happen. Alex Ramirez, star of the Spidey play of the day. Alex Ramirez, we're going to be running together at some point soon. I guarantee that. I promise you that, Alex Ramirez, that we will be rolling together some point soon. All right, so that's it. I really think that this is a spot with the Kings who are allowing. Okay, two things here. Kings are allowing 5.20 goals a game. That's just nonsense. I just don't see how that could happen. And also, I do not like two things. A young team from a boring, and I don't even put down Raleigh, North Carolina, but from a non-party city to get on an airplane and start a road trip in Los Angeles. Just concerns me. It concerns me. What I expect to happen in this game, and I'm not betting it, is the Hurricanes to come back very late. Probably tie the game up with an extra attacker with a minute left and then win the game in overtime or a shootout, or lose it in overtime or a shootout. I just don't trust the Hurricanes game one in LA. All right, there it is. And Prince of the City in the chat as well. It says, AC blows. You're there all the time, Prince of the City. Come on, man. Okay, there's Jam Man in the house. Jam Man. Straight out of Montreal, my guy, Jam Man in the house, whom I love dearly. All right, Drew Martin. Let's bring him in. We got to talk baseball playoffs and continue going over his NCAA football card. Coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Drew Martin in the house. How you doing on this Tuesday afternoon in Las Vegas, Drew?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Always fun to be on the show, and shout out to the Low Bag crew in the chat box. Yeah, man, it's a nice day here in Vegas, as it's been, probably 95% of the days I've been out here, man. The weather itself in Vegas is underrated. It's a hockey town for sure. Talking about the Golden Knights, I heard you. I think I'm a Golden Knights fan now, Jimmy, but excited. MLB playoffs, man. We got college football as well, so hope you're doing well today too, bro.
I am. I'm on the Astros -1. Feel good about this spot. I did break my 5-game MLB playoff losing streak yesterday, and I wouldn't mind finishing the year strong. It would give me a little bit of hope moving forward. Let's talk Astros, Yankees, 60. Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Let's talk Cardinals, Nationals. I'm on the over 7.5. I got that at -108. Let's see if that's available. It's still available. Still sitting there at 5 times. You can get a -110 at Pinnacle. The other books have moved up to either -115 or -20. Here's my thinking, Drew, and I'd love to hear your take on this game. The Cards have been seeing the nastiest right-hand pitchers that there is, other than, of course, the Astros righties. Very, very, very tough right-handed pitching. They were bad against righties in the regular season. They've been terrible against righties in the playoffs. Against lefties, though, they hit better. They hit 20 points OPS better against lefties in the regular season, and they have an 810 OPS, very small sample size, but an 810 OPS off lefties in the playoffs. Patrick Corbin's a really good pitcher, but I think it'll be nice for them to see a lefty. I am on the over 7.5, and let's talk about this lineup quickly. For the Cards, Edman, Martinez, Goldschmidt, Ozuna, Molina, DeYoung, Bader, Wong. That is one left-handed batter, and that's the second baseman, Colton Wong. For the Nats, same lineup as always. Turner, Eaton, Rendon, Soto, Kendrick, Zimmerman, Robles, and Yan Gomes. Brazil's Yan Gomes. Drew Martin, take it away. Cardinals, Nats.
Yeah, I mean, Hudson versus Corbin, I think it's a great pitching matchup. You know, two guys. I guess Corbin's a little bit more, steady as we go, whereas Dakota Hudson, high upside guy. I bet on him a bunch this season. It's just breaking this one down. I like your lefty numbers. I hadn't broken them down in terms of just the playoffs versus lefties. And actually, it makes me kind of think twice about the way I bet this. I mean, it has moved a little bit since I got on it earlier in the day, minus 162. I believe I jumped on the Nats at earlier today, just for a small bet, more of the degenerate in me kind of wanting to get out in the MLB playoffs, Jimmy, but really came at it because from the lefty side against lefties, St. Louis Cardinals, I usually use weighted runs created number right at 100, which is pretty much middle of the pack in MLB against lefties for the full season. Now, you brought up a good point in terms of small sample size, but of recent, they have hit them better. I guess that goes against my sentiment in laying it here with the favorite. But, a team 3-0 at home to end the series with Corbin on the hill. I just think the Cardinals are up against it. But granted, Cardinals have been a thorn in my side all year long. I haven't broken down the numbers, but in MLB betting Cardinals games, I definitely am below 50%. So kind of take, I guess, what I'm betting with a grain of salt. But the degenerate in me did put a small bet on the Washington Nationals minus 162.
I almost took the Nationals minus one. I get it. I absolutely get it. But I just feel like the edge I can use most is I don't think Dakota Hudson is spectacular here on the road. The nice weather in Washington right now, 63 Fahrenheit. Maybe you'd want it a little warmer, but 6 miles per hour sideways at the left field. Let me make sure that has not changed actually quickly. 63 Fahrenheit, wind 6 miles per hour right to left. I totally understand the Nats move, but I'm going to take this over. My pleasure, Arthur Mead Jr., my friend. Great to see you. Top sets on the Cards. Team total over 3.5 at 1 plus 110. Guru Sports Bets with me. Full game over. Guru Sports Bets destroying MLB all season long. Also, Dom Ricci, who the second half of the year was as good as anybody we know in MLB capping and carried that over into the playoffs with plus 12 units. He's also on the over 7.5. And it was our Dom Ricci that gave me the confidence to take the over yesterday. So that's my look, over 7.5. Drew is on the Nationals, and I'm not going to double up here. Guru says, I couldn't take Cards team total over right now. They're terrible to play. If they go over, the game should go over. I agree with that. And Anthony Mastinardi says, Vegas for New Year's, possible. And we have a delay in Houston, which is not good. A delay in Houston, not good. If you guys can give me an update on what the hell's going on there, I would love to hear what your expectation is for the delay. All right, Drew Martin, that is our MLB card. And Ron Crawford spreadsheet says Washington. Drew Martin on Washington. I get it. Drew, let's move into NCAA football. We talked about your spots and your moves with our very own Teddy Covers, and I know you do a lot of capping with him as well. And we went over your looks, and let me just go over exactly what he was saying because I was taking notes while rolling into them. Here we go. Let's get there. Drew Martin Monday. There we go. He loved two of your looks. Well, one of your looks he loved. The other look he would back, but he doesn't like those big point spreads. He loved your look on the Tulane Green Wave. That was I have 4 stars beside it. He was very into your look in the Tulane Green Wave. And he also liked your look with UCF. So those of you who did not join us yesterday, this was Drew Martin's Monday action for us. Louisiana Lafayette, FAU, UNLV, Fresno under, Buffalo, UCF, and Tulane. Drew Martin, has anything changed in those 6 games that you gave us yesterday? And what are any additions that you've made?
Well, in terms of changing, yeah, it looks like the secret's out on the UNLV. You mentioned it as the Fresno under. They're playing UNLV. And I'm guessing a group, somebody jumped on it as well, saw what I saw. So that number's down to 52.5 now. So it's, almost a field goal difference of what it was yesterday. And it's mainly just due to the quarterback. It's a redshirt freshman in there taking snaps. They're going a little bit slower, on offense. Plus their defense absolutely getting after it the last 2 weeks. Really holding Boise State at bay, the game I went to. And then the next week in SEC territory, granted against Vanderbilt, held their offense at bay. So I just view UNLV as an under team, and it looks like the market's onto it now. That's one change that I've seen. In terms of the plays, I guess, adding on to it, looking in the SEC, and I usually don't bet a lot of SEC games, but Florida versus South Carolina, seeing the Gators under 7-point favorites against the Gamecocks, 48.5, the total in Columbia. I almost wonder if South Carolina, is getting a little bit too much praise after that huge win over Georgia. I love, Coach Boom, Coach Muschamp. He's one of my favorite in the business, the head coach for South Carolina, and they are at home in an SEC East matchup, but still, I don't see this Gamecock offense having much success against the Florida Gators. So I just feel like the -6 here, even as low as -5.5 on the Gators, it's one that I got circled, Jimmy. I haven't bet it as of right now, but I'm pretty sure by the end of the night, the Gators will be on my card as well.
Ooh, that's I like every angle about that. All right, adding to Drew Martin's card. This is Tuesday looks from Drew Martin. We have Drew Martin on the show Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Adding Florida. Oh, that's an interesting take right there. Florida -5.5. Yes, those of you who missed NHL very, very quickly, I'm on the Lightning -1. And I won't take the time to break down everything, but Lightning -1, Flames -1, Red Wings money line. So there's all nice plus spots. And then my addition on the Late Show was the under 6.5 in Minnesota, Toronto. I truly believe that we will look back with great memory of the opportunity to take 6.5s against a Minnesota Wild team that, as we know, will not be a high-scoring team and will not allow teams to shoot the lights out because they'll lose in any back-and-forth offensive-type game, especially with Zuccarello injured. Okay, so we have our first look from Drew Martin on Tuesday, Florida -5.5. Quickly here at sportsbookreview.com, the SBR odds page here, which is a must-have on your computer all day long. That total, Drew, I'm curious about that total here right now. Opened at 48.5, and it's pretty much just stayed there. There are 48s on the board. What do you think of the total here?
If you made me bet it, and I haven't bet this total, Jimmy, but seeing it as high as 48.5, I would bet it under. We got Will Muschamp, one of the best, in my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in the country. Granted, he's a head coach, but still, it says a lot about his defense. And inexperienced quarterback for the Gamecocks going up against the Florida Gator defense. We've seen this Gator defense perform very, very well against inexperienced quarterbacks. We saw it in the Auburn game, and I wouldn't necessarily compare what LSU was able to do against what South Carolina should be able to do at home. I think it's two very opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, South Carolina, granted, they beat Georgia, but they had 3 interceptions, 1 a pick 6, all from the same corner, by the way. So I think South Carolina is going to have a very difficult time scoring. I would look towards their team totals under. I haven't broken that down as of yet, but I would look for South Carolina to very much struggle on offense, which would point me towards the under, because I don't necessarily think Florida, with their young quarterback as well, Thrash has played well and he can throw the ball down the field. I'm actually surprised he didn't start the season after watching this Gators team, comparing him to Felipe Franks. I just think the offense is a lot better. I'm kind of surprised by Mullen's decision. Would love to hear him answer questions about that. But, to answer your question, a long answer short here, Jimmy. If you made me bet it, I would be on the under of 48.5.
On the under. Note taken. Okay, let's talk about other looks or other games that interest you that you may be making a move on. What else do you have your eyes on?
The Ohio Bobcats at home, as we're starting to get into action, keep in mind these games are going to be on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So it's always good to kind of get a preparation here on the weeks prior to that. I've made notes in years past, and it's really helped me. I just think, 7 and a hook is an interesting number, And I hate laying that hook on the 7, but still, Ohio just top to bottom, roster is way more talented, and they're at home against the Kent State team that, yes, is going to run up tempo, but only if they can make first downs. I think they're going to have a tough time. Their quarterback isn't very accurate. He's a transfer from Auburn, very good athlete, but against this defense, I feel like you have to be accurate down the field. So I think Kent State's going to struggle. I like the Ohio Bobcats -7.5. I think we talked about it briefly on yesterday's show, the kind of close your eyes special here with Central Michigan, the Chippewas minus doubles here, 11.5 now over Bowling Green. Looks like the market's pumped that one up from 10 to 11.5, even 12 at some shops, just fading the Bowling Green Falcons. And then in the Sun Belt, a game I really like, I'm not sure if we went over it yesterday, but Georgia Southern -6.5 against Coastal Carolina as Chanticleers. Georgia Southern is at home in Statesboro, one of the better home field advantages in the Sun Belt Conference. And start talking about, roster, more talented roster. Georgia Southern, there aren't many teams in lower Division I college football that have more talent on the roster. It's a prime recruiting ground there. Northern Florida, Southern Georgia, they even reach into Alabama as well. So usually their defensive and offensive lines are very strong. Going up against the Chanticleers, who only in their third year of Division I football, they're not even fully up to the 85 scholarship. So as we get down here towards the back half of the season and they're in Sun Belt play, I faded them last week on the show on personally betting. I'm going to fade them here. Georgia Southern -6.5 against Coastal Carolina. I believe Coastal Carolina is only 4-13 in their last 17 Sun Belt games and 0-6 in their last 6. It's really starting to show here that in the beginning of the season, they have a nice offense. It's kind of flashy, but just depth-wise, they're not there yet against Division I foes. And keep in mind, they did make the jump from the Southern Conference and FCS up to Division I. So I just think they're up against it against Georgia Southern. So I laid the 6.5 with Georgia Southern. And I wouldn't be surprised if that number's 7.5 by kickoff.
Very interesting. I like that look, and you were very successful fading Coastal Carolina last week, going back to the well with Georgia Southern. There is a game I want to ask you about, but is there anything that you want to jump on that you are adding to your card?
And I know a lot of people don't like to lay big numbers, and I get that. But with the mainstream, becoming legalized, sports betting and how people are consuming the content, it's just kind of like a sentiment out there in terms of don't lay big numbers. But sometimes, the value is laying the big number in terms of the underdog is just way overmatched. I think we see it here again. Buffalo, granted, they're on the road. It's kind of a mix of what I really don't like to do, but I've been doing it a couple times in recent weeks, Jimmy, and it's been working. -17 against the Akron Zips. The Zips are one of the bottom 5 programs in all of college football. They're not very good at all. I think Buffalo steamrolls them. And a lot of times, you got to be okay with it's one unit, in terms of, people you smash in and be like, oh, you laid 17 and it was a close game, you're an idiot or something like that. Remember, it's money management. It's one unit. And heck, if you lose, it's only one unit. But still, I laid it with Buffalo -17.
Laid it with Buffalo -17. We talked briefly about that spot you were on yesterday, laying it with Buffalo against this terrible Akron Zips team. I want to ask you, we got to move on to DJ Big Boss. And where is DJ Big Boss coming to us from? I have no idea, and I'm very excited to see. But before that, I want to ask you about Auburn, your alma mater. 19 points or 18.5 favorites on the road at Arkansas, and total at 55. What's your look on Auburn this weekend?
Yeah, man, that's a tough one. I like Auburn. If you made me bet it, I would lay it with them. It's just, young quarterback on the road. I just feel like going up against this Arkansas team, and granted, Arkansas is not a team I've been involved with at all this year, so I haven't done, next level, like looking under the hood research on this game. I think Arkansas is going to have a very tough time moving the ball against Auburn, as are most teams, if not all teams in college football, just because their defensive line gets after it. You're not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball, so it's a matter of how is Arkansas going to move the ball. I'm not a big fan, at least not of the mainstream media, of the Auburn's quarterback situation. I just think Nix is a little bit overrated at this stage of his career, and I don't like laying big points with Auburn. We saw Tulane stay within the number for most of the game. It's not like Auburn really blows out opponents outside. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Mississippi State game, you could say that, but I don't know. Jimmy, I mean, I guess just to answer your question, I'm not looking to lay big points with Auburn, young quarterback, keeping the ball on the ground, especially against an SEC defense that if they can stop the run, I don't necessarily think Auburn's going to be able to do whatever they want offensively. If you made me bet it, having said all that, I would bet Auburn, but it's a game I'm likely not going to be involved in.
Not going to be involved with Auburn. Drew Martin here, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, betting with the bag. On Monday, he goes Louisiana, Lafayette, FAU, UNLV, Fresno, under Buffalo, UCF, Tulane. Today, Florida, -5.5. Ohio, -7.5. Central Michigan, -11.5. And Georgia Southern, -6.5. Drew Martin, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. If you are out there, low baggers, and you're not following this man on Twitter, please do at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. He's very active and a lot of fun to follow. Drew, my friend, tell us a little bit about the big show on Saturday that will be starring our next guest, DJ Big Boss. Tell us about Closing Line Saturday.
My boy DJ Big Boss from Cali. Me, him and I. We got Ian, Cameron, and Big Ragu as well. It's always a lot of fun. 11 a.m. Eastern, breaking down the card. We went 4-0 in best bets. We might go 0-4 this week, but I doubt it. I think we'll have another good week here. 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. We got it all covered, breaking down the games, going down the card pretty much, interacting with the chat box. It's a lot of fun on the SBR YouTube channel. So, guys, come join us on Saturday morning. Also be back on with you, Jimmy, on Friday afternoon. So until then, best of luck to you, Jimmy, with your bets, and shout out to everybody in the chat box. And also, Rafa, behind the scenes, man, Pura Vida Mai and his favorite team, Heredia, in the Costa Rican Premier League, supposedly making waves down there. So hopefully you can catch a game down there, Jimmy. They're a lot of fun.
Yes, I have yet to do that, sadly. All I know is that they take the change from you going into the stadium so as you won't, to create a situation where you won't fire your change at the players. Classy stuff. Classy
And you
stuff.
can't drink in the games either. I learned that one the hard way.
You have to show up hammered, and I have no problem doing that. That's right in my wheelhouse. There he is, Drew Martin. Drew, thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
All right, buddy. Best of luck, bro.
There he is. Drew Martin and Anthony Mastinardi saying can't lay big points on the road with Auburn, but can't take Arkansas. I hear that. Okay, let's bring in our next guest. I'm always excited to see where he's coming to us from. This man makes moves. Never know where he will be joining us from. Please welcome to the show, representing Long Beach, California, by way of Compton, California, DJ Big Boss in the house. DJ Big Boss, how you doing on this Tuesday afternoon?
Oh, I'm doing great, Jimmy. I joined one of these hair loss and get your hair back clinical trials right here. It's been great, man. They've been feeding us the best of food. They gave us a couple pills or something to take when we got here, but we're gonna get this all straightened out. I'm doing this for me and for you, Jimmy. We're gonna get all this straightened out. And these people, I refuse to do the marker thing or anything else. I'm just take some little stuff they give me. I'm in the trial thing. I get a couple thousand for being here, Jimmy. I'm doing great, man. You should come try this when you get a chance.
Oh, I'm in, man. I'm in. Are you sleeping overnight at that facility?
Absolutely. I got to be here for 3 days. It's like a vacation, man. 3 days. They feed you. They take your blood pressure like 3 times a day. I had a little itch earlier, but, everything's been pretty much cool, man. It's a lot of nice people right here. No women, though, It's the receding hairline crew, man. So bunch of guys over here. I'm trying to get them to cap some games with me and stuff, but we doing all right, though. We doing all right over here.
Making money as we speak. Our DJ Big Boss. DJ Big Boss, I love getting... Oh, by the way, congratulations on another very successful week for yourself in NCAA football. That's a series of weeks, a profit in a row. You must be feeling very good and seeing things clearly. Just from a capping side, do you find it gets easier as the year goes on, or do the lines get tighter and it gets more difficult?
Now, college football is one of the hardest sports to cap. Many people don't play it at all. And no, it's just like the game of college football. It's all about adjustments. It's all about continuing to grow throughout the season. It never gets easy, Jimmy. It's always a struggle, man. You're dealing with adolescents, young kids and stuff, playing a sport, big dollars. All types of adversity goes on in college football. I had a little talk with Drew Martin. He could tell you before the show in closing line, I smelled upset, and look what happened with South Carolina and Georgia. So, yeah, this week, find yourself an angle. Last week, I had a lot of success finding the angle. I went in there, and if you watch the shows, I told you, I flipped the stats upside down. I went after the teams that didn't do very well. And one of them was Bowling Green. It was surprising that I stayed away from the side in that game because Bowling Green actually pulled off an upset. But I hammered the under. It came in wonderfully, got me a lot of points in the pick six contest. But, yeah, you got to find some angles. This week I think I'm looking at teams that are penalized a lot. Those teams lead to a lot of overs and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure what angle I'm going to look, but it's conference play right now. Conferences is going to be straightening themselves out, separating the men from the boys. So there's a lot of stuff in there you got to go digging.
Yeah, and your under in that Bowling Green game was spectacular. You cleared that by like 40 points or something. Great job. All right, let's get to it. DJ Big Boss, I've got the odds out. Take it away. Are you going to start in the Mountain West, or how are you going to be hammering this card for your Tuesday looks?
I mostly only hammered the Mountain West so far. Got a couple out for them. Now, this UNLV, I was just looking it over quite before the show. The UNLV Fresno State game comes on Friday, 7 o'clock. Now, when I capped this game out, I had Fresno State -10. So we were wondering last week in the Fresno State game, this is defending champ now. They was a couple step back, was kind of worrisome about the line, and they got beat up on pretty well. Come to find out, this team is suffering on the offensive side, not on the defensive side. The defense is ranked number 49, giving up 29 points a game. They do well in passing yards, but they give up a lot of completions. They end up 65% completions to their opponents. They do have 9 sacks, 5 interceptions, and they're a so-so defense, and they play like such. I think Fresno State is taking a step back this year, and we know they lost a lot on offense, and that's where they suffer on offense. So looking at UNLV after the upset win, you could say, to Vanderbilt, and that was on the road, mind you, and then they're going to be on the road as well in Fresno, which is, I would say Fresno's not too far from Vegas, but, it is another road trip for them. Preparation changes. But I think they'll be a little high on their horses coming over into this Fresno State. They have a history here, but they don't do well in road games in the Mountain West. They're 5-15 in Mountain West road games. So I really don't think they could actually win this game, and I usually don't like taking dogs unless I think they can win outright. But I see a lot of value with the over 53 in this one. I had it up to about 60, and coming in at 53 is really low. I see UNLV, after scoring a lot of points last week, I think they follow the same suit and try to score more points. Maybe they figured out something that worked for them. And their running team is not difficult to do that. And they could also pass the ball as well, but they run 188 yards per game. So, they could be somebody to be reckoned with. So I think they slow the game down a lot. That's why I think they can cover the points. But I like the over 53 the most.
Very interesting, because that is going up against. It might just be. I'll have to double. Maybe it's just going up against Drew Martin, but very interesting. Look, I lost with Fresno State last week. UNLV defense is playing well, but Fresno should be able to put points up on the board. Another spot where you're going against the market move, and that's been very successful for you so far this year. A very interesting look from DJ Big Boss to get us rolling. Over 53.5, and this is a total that's gone down from 55. It's actually 52.5 at Bookmaker and Heritage. Wow. And 53 is another book. So wow. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the 52.5 here just for show purposes when I talk about your looks with the other cappers, because that's what is available right now. Line shopping. There we go. DJ Big Boss on the board over UNLV Fresno State. That's a very exciting take. What's next on your card?
Before I go into the next one, though, Jimmy, I must say to a lot of people distaste that I don't really go for the line movement a lot in college sports, not in college football or college basketball. There's so many teams for the books to cover. They can lead you on the wrong line, and the line movement mean nothing, period. So I never even, you just mentioned that, and it kind of sparked the nerve to me, because I never even think about the line movement when I pick college sports. But when I do NFL and other sports, I do. So could we say overall, line movement, no way is it accurate in every sport. It's got to be a sport that it's not that accurate in. But that's a whole nother topic. Let's go into the next pick. Wyoming and New Mexico. Now, Wyoming goes home on this one after a hard-fought game last week. They came out really well last week on offense. I really liked the way they performed. And this is a very, very physical team. Let's talk about the assets of this team in conference play. Very physical team. They play high altitude, difficult home place to play. And here we go, Bob Davies' team, New Mexico, who they can score. They got some fancy athletes, but they just had a lot of bad luck. I don't know how they achieved an offense of number 53. Maybe it's because some of the games they played. But they've been exposed this year. They took a trip out to Notre Dame, so they've traveled. They probably gained a little love for the sport a little bit. And they play this Wyoming team that's not very good on offense. They're 107th in offense, 29 points a game. They don't even hold the ball, but 29 minutes total possession. They're rushing 68% of the time for 233, and they're throwing the ball 31% of the time. Only 115 yards a game in the air for Wyoming. But they do run this thing with the quarterback. The quarterback does a lot of running on that team, so they will score points. But this line that they have, minus 19.5, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with taking a team with such bad offense at home. So when you're at home, you get teams to play your game, and their game is defense. So I expect them to shut New Mexico down, even though New Mexico does have a good rushing attack. They don't have much passing attack, and that's where Wyoming gives up the most is in the pass. They actually are very good at defending the run. They give up about 89 yards a game. So Wyoming's definitely good against the run. This is a running team. It doesn't really match together. I definitely think Wyoming's going to win. I'm not sure about the 19.5 with the 107th offense, but I do like Wyoming to play their game and get New Mexico to play their game, and this game goes under 49.
Wow. And this actually opened at 54. Wow. I'm going to see, look at this line history here for the total. Wow. And now we have graphics with the line history. Wow. It opened up at 54 yesterday at 2:23. Immediately in 20 minutes went down to 53, 52, and it just keeps dropping. Wow. But no fear here from DJ Big Boss. DJ Big Boss taking the under in New Mexico and Wyoming under. And we'll give them 50. I believe there is a 50 on the board. Let me just double check that before we get into our next game. And there is a 50 on the board at Pinnacle. I'll give you that. Okay, great stuff. Let's keep rolling. My God, DJ Big Boss. And by the way, DJ Big Boss, Remo says banging hair restoration nurses is Mando. So just a little heads up. Everybody excited about what you're doing in the hair restoration clinic. Okay, DJ Big Boss, what's next on the Mountain West card?
We're going to go to Big Bad Boise. They play old school rival BYU. A lot of history between these two teams. Now, this team, I really like Boise. I like what Boise's doing. But they do have the young quarterback, but the team has brought in Batchmeyer, 9 TDs, only 3 interceptions. He's been doing that thing. The offense is ranked 16 at 37 points a game, 488 yards. I mean, the stats on Boise State on paper looks wonderful. And that's not even to mention that they have played some decent competition, and they rose to the occasion early in the season. Now this BYU team, as my guy Noli knows, says dead under. It's been a dead under team for a while here, and that's why we have this total down at about 49. Because they're a dead under team. They're at home. Here we go again. Their only hope to beating a team like Boise State at home is to play to the strength of their game. Now, what would be the strength of their game? Their defense is 84. Their offense is 87. Defense giving up 30 points a game, and the offense is only scoring 22. So I don't see a good spot for them on defense, except for they do defend the pass well. They only hold teams to 188 yards in the air. They have 5 sacks, but they have 7 big interceptions this year. And I watched them play a little early in the season, BYU, Utah game. The linebackers play side to side. The linemen can be outsized at times, which they'll probably be outsized in the trenches on this one with Boise State. But it's definitely going to be a fight in the trench right here. Definitely hard lean to the under, being that's only BYU's only chance at stabilizing Boise is to control the clock. And that would be their best hopes to keeping Boise out the end zone. And Boise's going to be going on their second bye after this game. So I really think Boise's going to win outright. I think the best side in this game would be to take Boise State. So I'm leaning Boise State, and I'm leaning a hard under in this game as well. But I'll get back with you guys on Friday about that, what I finalize. I usually try to stay away from Boise State unless they're on that bluegrass. But I had good success with them early in the season, taking them on the road. This might be a spot where they get a chance to beat up on BYU. They're on a mission to win the Mountain West. I don't know what the future is on that, but that's almost definite. I don't see no teams in the Mountain West that can really get in their way right now from winning the Mountain West. But that's that take on that. I got one more pick for you, Jimmy, and this is outside the Mountain West, and it's I believe it's a Thursday or Friday game, and that's the Syracuse-Pittsburgh game. Now, I really like what Pittsburgh is doing over there. I think they've been undervalued all season. They played good against some top teams this year. And the Syracuse team, last week was their last chance. His last chance, we put all our berries in that basket and gave them a chance. It's time to finalize it. They're bums. If we jump on it now and continue it out, we may be able to cash out a lot of money. But now is the time. They're playing a team that's on the rise. They're on the fall. Pitt is the away dog, but give me the -3.5. I'm taking Pitt.
Backing Pitt. Very, very interesting. And let me just double check because we have somebody on Syracuse, and it's Big Ragoo thinking about Syracuse plus the points. Wow. So I'm looking forward to watch you guys debate that game as we move throughout the week. There's our guy, DJ Big Boss. UNLV Fresno State over 52.5. New Mexico, Wyoming under 50. Boise State and the under. Now, those are leans with Boise State and the under, so we will see. And I'm hoping, I love having you on Thursdays right now, DJ Big Boss, so I hope that continues to work. But you know what? Actually, now that we're moving back to our UFC on Thursdays, maybe we will move you to Fridays. So I'll talk with you. I'll make sure that we get a schedule that works for you. And then Ann Pitt adding to DJ Big Boss. And now you get to sit back, relax at the hair restoration clinic and do what pimps do, DJ Big Boss. And we're all very excited for you. Get that cash at the restoration clinic. All you guys out there, follow DJ Big Boss on Twitter. He's a lot of fun to follow. Also, you get to hear the Who Bangin' Sports Show and what's going on at the Who Bangin' Network. We have great cappers. We have Dom Ricci as well as the aforementioned Noli Knows, dropping MLB wisdom and shows there from the boss and the sauce. You can also see the Pick Six Show live with DJ Big Boss. DJ Big Boss, I'm going to put a link down for your NCAA football contest. Could you tell us a little bit about that contest?
Woo! Smoking, Jimmy. I'm in there doing well in the contest. Hey, if you got any gripes, grudges, dislikes, or anything about me, bring it to the contest. It's transparent. You can see my record each week. talk smack, whatever you like. I have good weeks, bad weeks, but guess what? I'm having more good weeks than bad weeks. But I really need everybody to get over there, all those who want to just be involved, ask some questions or whatever in the chat, whatever. Come on over to the Big Boss NCAA contest. And, if you're in the NCAA contest while you're right there, you got to hit the pick six. The pick six is real. This is what we doing nationwide, pick six. We're putting pick six cards in the little market where I go purchase all my little doodads and stuff. So we getting people involved with the pick six, mamas, uncles, grandmas, anybody around the office talking about they know this. It's free to join. Go to the website and you're in. And you can follow where I'm at in the pick six, where Jimmy at in the pick six, where Big Ragoo's at in the pick six. And it's a lot of fun. So come check us out on that and definitely tune in to Who Bangin' Sports. We got all kinds of stuff coming. We're going to keep you going on every sport. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, DJ BIGGBOSS. And we just having fun, man. We enjoy all of you guys, all our low baggers, all of our folks over at SBR, Freddie, all those people in the background, Rafa. We appreciate everybody. It's one big family, coast to coast, nationwide, worldwide, all that good stuff, man. If you just linger it out in the outskirts of this, get involved, man. Start with the DJ Big Boss NCAA contest and the pick six, and hop in the chat. I know you hear us, but hop in the chat. And, I'm going to have some fresh stuff going on when I get up out of here, Jimmy. I'm going to have to go back to the young hotties, you know what I'm saying? But ain't no women in this spot today, man. This is all guys. I'm going to be on a testosterone binge for the weekend. But guess what? I get to get that cat. Oh, shit. It's kind of itchy, man. But other than the itching, everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? But we having what's that good stuff? Surf and turf dinner tonight over here, man. But hopefully the last day or something, they let us at least see some women for a little while. But maybe that's what's helping the hair grow back, is not being around nagging women. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Well, I look forward to hearing more about the events that take place over the next 48 hours at the Hair Restoration Clinic. Back to his DJ Big Boss NCAA football contest. Our guy Indy out of Australia winning this thing right now. First place, Deer Slayer Ski, low bagger. Deer Slayer Ski is in the chat right now. Third place, 24-15-2. Fourth place out of 124. DJ Big Boss, fourth out of 124. Great stuff. And then here is also the Pick Six contest where DJ is eating as well. So jump in those two contests. I gave the links there right now. DJ Big Boss, thank you so much for joining us once more. UNLV, Fresno State over 52.5. New Mexico, Wyoming under 50. Boise State in the under. And Pitt could be a matchup between the Boss and the Sauce there. As the Sauce, Big Ragoo, liking Syracuse, early lean to Syracuse. We'll see if he sticks with that. Big Boss, enjoy your evening, my friend, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing your hard work with us.
We'll do, Jimmy. I'm gonna have fun around here.
Oh no. All right. And Mally Mal says, Jimmy, I like the under in Kings game facts. Hey, Mally Mal, I agree that the sample size is too small to sit back and say, oh yeah, the Kings are an over team. I can totally see why you're going against the market and against what people are thinking. I totally see why you're doing that, Mally Mal, and I think that's how we succeed in NHL, by saying this 4 or 5 game sample size is ludicrous to think the Kings are all of a sudden, this old, slow hockey team is all of a sudden going to start playing to over. So I get that, Mally Mal. All right, let's bring in, before I recap all of my action, let's see what old Freddie Fortune has up in his sleeve. Please welcome to the show, Freddie Fortune. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
You okay?
Yes.
Been doing a lot of capping today.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How did your action go yesterday? It was.
it's for tomorrow. I got 2 plays for tomorrow.
Oh, nice. So this was your floorball play.
Yeah, my floorball plays for tomorrow, not for today.
Yes, and what country was that for floorball play?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yes.
Sweden floorball. All right. People are very excited. Very
I
excited that
don't
you've been
think
joining
so.
us. No, you're right.
Oh.
No, but Deer Slayer Ski says Mr. Freddie.
Hey, who says that?
Deer Slayer Ski.
Oh, it's like a deer slaying ski profit.
No, nothing like that at all. Interested to hear what you're going to be capping this afternoon for us. What is it?
It's a very antique nation.
Antique nation?
Yeah, antique. I know it's not the word, but I like it.
All right.
It's a very old nation.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Greek handball.
Greek handball?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Greek handball.
Nice. Is it man on man?
I hope.
Okay, let's hear about
It's
this.
AEK. How do you say this? I don't want to be stupid. Athens?
Athens, yeah.
Athens.
It's those. I get it. Those 6-letter words can be tricky. So yeah, it's Athens.
You're a fast counter.
Thank you.
Yeah. AEK Athens.
That's a K actually. That letter is
K.
pronounced
Oh,
K, yeah.
I
No,
don't
it's
want
good.
to read my play anymore.
No. I get it. I get why you
Well,
get confused there.
Athens. I don't know how it's said.
No, you're doing
Minus
great,
6.5.
though. Okay.
Oh my
Against
god.
who?
I feel so stupid.
No, don't. Against who?
Minus 6.5 over the Aeropos Edessas
Oh,
at
nice.
minus 118 at Bet365. Can we cut the show now?
Oh, why? Why? It's
I
okay.
feel stupid.
No, don't.
I will start losing like number one and I will get my segment cancelled.
Well, we don't keep track of your record. You might be losing like number one. for all we
Well,
know.
maybe, but I got some winners.
Do
I
you?
gave Larry a good play the other day.
Well, Larry says that you never give him plays, and that was all his capping. So I don't believe you. All right. Guru says short show today. We have gone 14 minutes long, but yes. And our Freddie Fortune on AEK Athens minus 6.5 over Aeropos.
Your English is great.
Thank you.
Are you American or?
I'm
From the
Canadian.
no-
I'm actually Canadian. Yeah.
I'm Canadian too.
I know
I'm
you-
from the French Latin part.
Yeah, the French
of
Latin
Can-
part.
Yeah.
All right, let's put a bow on this. People seem to be very interested in your leches, so let me just quickly repeat or review what I'm on. Astros -1. Let's get that shit.
Yes.
Then I'm on the over 7.5 in Cardinals Nationals. That's from the early show. I added my one addition to this card: Wild Leafs under 6.5. Now I'm hoping to get better than the -130 that my book was offering about an hour ago, and I expect to get a better line than -130. In fact, if I can't get a better line than -130, I might be hesitant to take it, but on Twitter we'll put out the bet because at -110 everywhere else, I expect Bet365 to follow along. Then I'm on the Lightning -1, the Flames -1, and the Red Wings on the money line. My friend Freddie Fortune. Oh, a new nickname for you.
Let's hear it.
Freddie Fortuneless.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's really good.
Who said that?
I don't want to tell you who said it because I don't want you to dislike this man. He's a legend in the industry, and we love him.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Is he the legend?
All right, let's end
Pistol.
this. Yeah, great stuff.
Is
Okay.
he my friend?
Yes,
Is he around?
Yeah. Could you please give us a leche and put a bow on this?
Do you want me to scream or?
Just do you.
I can
man.
do a lot of stuff.
Okay, do you. Give us a leche and let's put a bow on this one.
Okay. Let's see. Leche. And los bookmakers!